Imagine a peaceful October morning in LA. Stage lights off. The cameras are quiet. In that silence, cinematic stars bow to say goodbye to Diane Keaton. Searched for Mr. Goodbar. With her. My second film was with her. Of course I think about her. A few days later, Richard Gere unexpectedly appears on TV without promoting a picture. But to discuss the woman who accompanied him through 2 film generations. I hadn't seen her recently. I was cautious and nervous like her. Check out what touched everyone in that tribute. Hollywood's hundreds of faces included Diane Keaton and Richard Gere at 2 times roughly half a century apart. That film was hard for her. It felt raw. Sexy flick. In 1977, they appeared in Looking for Mr. Goodbar, which changed their careers. What can I refuse? Diane was a great star following The Godfather and Annie Hall, while Richard was only starting out at 28 with a few Broadway roles. This film set up their uncommon professional relationship. Because Mr. Goodbar, a controversial psychological social work of the period, was based on a genuine story about a young teacher who lived 2 lives. Teresa Dunn, played by Diane Keaton, was a free-spirited woman torn between freedom and loneliness. Richard Gere played Tony, a rash, dangerous man who would become his trademark. Many delicate sequences in the film demanded complete trust between the actors. We helped each other through these difficult physical scenes. Years later, Richard Gere recalled he was nervous and anxious in his first days on set. Oscar winner Diane Keaton helped and reassured the kid. Gere recalls how they helped each other during tough scenes. His favorite thing about Keaton was her compassion, practicality, and teamwork in a stressful work atmosphere. I recall how kind and genuine she was. Their careers diverged after this film, although they stayed in touch. In Red's Baby Boom, Diane Keaton's assertive, confident roles won over fans. Something Must Give, Father of the Bride. Richard Gere became famous worldwide with Pretty Woman and Chicago. They rarely met or worked together for decades. However, Gere stated Diane Keaton was one of the first to teach him the virtue of acting truth. I think anyone who's worked with her knows her. A true original. As well. Totally original. When Maybe I Do was released on 23, they reconnected after 46 years. They were now 2 Hollywood giants, not young performers who had to prove themselves. The romantic comedy follows 2 older spouses and their complex offspring. Diane Keaton and Richard Gere played a long-time relationship with common concerns. Different personalities and a desire to relive youth. Their collaboration was artistically valuable and nostalgic for audiences, bringing back 2 names that previously embodied American cinema's fundamental principles. Richard Gere praised Keaton in promotional interviews. Working with Diane again was like seeing an old friend. Her creativity remains unchanged after 46 years. Diane said she felt free acting with Gere because they had an implicit knowledge of their characters. Though not friends, both valued truth and heart in their careers. Many in Hollywood considered their relationship kindred screen partners, an uncommon bond, as on-screen romances are generally linked to rumors or fights. Gere and Keaton avoided scandal and unnecessary narration. Only 2 painters in the same era approached art with respect. Diane Keaton collaborated alongside talented men like Al Pacino, Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, and Woody Allen. Her relationship with Richard Gere was balanced and distinct from work. Although Gere was never one of her boyfriends, he was always one of her favorite co-stars. Keaton said, "He's kind and never tries to prove anything about Gere." One thing they shared was independence. Keaton and Gere avoided Hollywood's noise, rarely attended entertainment events, and focused on art and social activities. Keaton wrote about photography and charity, while Gere studied Buddhism and human rights. Their friendship was respected without being turned into a personal story. Even though they rarely met, the 2 still spoke at film events. In an NBC interview, Gere added, "Diane represents honesty. Never trying to stand out, she improves everything around her." After Diane Keaton died, many memorials quoted that statement. They had no personal friendship or close bond outside of work, but a spiritual and professional bond. He termed Keaton lovely, compassionate, and real as a colleague who understood the need of authenticity in art, not a friend. Based on the 46-year gap between their films, Gere and Keaton represent 2 generations of actors who believe performance should reflect reality, not impress. They met as rookies and reunited after fame's ups and downs. In over 50 years, few words were exchanged, but each partnership left its impact. After nearly half a century, Diane Keaton's death prompted Richard Gere to reflect on their journey, starting with the 1977 film and ending with a simple, profound memorial. Leaving an old acquaintance. Diane Keaton, 79, died in Los Angeles on October 11, 2025. After treatment, pneumonia was diagnosed. She died gently and was cared for at home, but her family did not disclose her condition. Her representative announced the family's privacy and asked the media and public to respect it. No accident or exceptional conditions occurred. 3 days after her death, Diane Keaton's funeral was held on October 14, 2025. An intimate Beverly Hills church hosted the event for family and friends. Public remarks and guest lists were absent. To match her basic lifestyle, the family chose a discreet structure. Instead of flowers, they requested donations to homeless support funds and animal rescue shelters, for which Keaton had worked for years. In the hush, Richard Gere was among the first to remember. He was asked about Keaton on the Today Show, NBC, on 10/16/2025, before revealing his new project. The host started the interview by asking about Diane Keaton instead of a new film project. Gere replied slowly and unprepared. His words were quoted by major worldwide media. He began by saying Diane Keaton was sweet, polite, and sincere, which matched her style and work ethic. Anyone who worked with Keaton could feel it, Gere believed. She never tried to be unusual or seek an image, she always presented herself honestly. Gere believed Keaton was special and nobody could copy her. Richard Gere recalled searches for Mr. Goodbar in 1977, their first collaboration. He stated complex psychological and physical scenes made them tense at the moment. Gere claimed they helped each other through difficult scenes. He didn't elaborate, but this showed the two performers' trust in the process. Gere claimed Keaton was always professional and did not allow emotions affect work. When asked how he felt about Diane Keaton's death, Richard Gere said he thought about her a lot. He demonstrated respect and loyalty to his former colleague with the simple phrase. Gere focused on Keaton's influence on actors rather than offering sympathies. People knew her for working honestly, he said. His interview comments went viral on YouTube. Without drama or performance, Gere's words were one of 2025's most memorable film tributes. Many famous artists duplicated the line, but she was original while posting Diane Keaton homage. Variety. After The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline reprinted Richard Gere's comments, he didn't appear on any more TV shows. Gere's agent said he didn't attend Keaton's private burial to honor the family's wishes, but he sent a wreath and letter praising her life and achievements. Gere distinguished himself by emphasizing professional worth rather than grief. He focused on Keaton's job rather than his personal life. This is his usual manner, a person who keeps private and public life separate. His television comments dominated the funeral even though he didn't speak. The same generation co-workers, trade journals, and articles saw it as a straightforward farewell with weight. Gere focused on 3 points and avoided jargon. Diane Keaton's kindness, uniqueness, and genuineness. Due to Diane Keaton's path from childhood and training to career milestones that made her a rare American cinema star, these tributes resonate. Named Diane Keaton, she changed Hollywood. Diane Hall Keaton was born in Los Angeles on January 5, 1946. Her mother was Dorothy Diane Keaton, a homemaker and amateur photographer, and her father was engineer and contractor John Newton Ignatius Hall. This middle-class family was stable but not affluent. Diane used her mother's maiden name, Keaton, as a stage name to prevent confusion with Diane Hall. Diane Keaton's observation and expression were distinct from childhood. She enjoyed singing and performing in school talent competitions. Diane thought the stage was a place where women could express themselves without others because her mother won a local beauty contest. Diane attended Santa Ana College after graduating from Santa Ana High School and then moved to New York's Playhouse School of the Theater to become an actress. Diane Keaton appeared in many off-Broadway plays in her early New York years, including Hair. Her spontaneous, unpretentious performance in this musical stood out. She met filmmaker Woody Allen and was encouraged to join Play It Again, Sam. Play was a hit. Keaton starred with Woody Allen in the 1972 film adaptation. From then on, she was a fixture of Allen's intellectual comedy. Diane Keaton's career took off after playing Kay Adams in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. She was lauded for her subtle power and moral turmoil as Michael Corleone's wife. She starred in Woody Allen's 1977 Annie Hall. In the film's tone and fashion, Keaton portrayed a humorous, free-spirited woman who received the Academy Award for Best Actress. Annie Hall changed Hollywood's feminine role. Keaton established a new cultural model by replacing reliance and glamour with intelligence and individualism. Her 1981 role as journalist Louise Bryant during the Russian Revolution showed her versatility. This role garnered her another Oscar nomination. Keaton played a single mother juggling job and family in Baby Boom, portraying the reality of modern women and solidifying her standing as a star and generational symbol. In the 1990s, Keaton maintained her endurance with Father of the Bride and its 1995 sequel. Her sweet but practical mother persona helped her approach mainstream audiences. With Goldie Hawn and Bette Midler, she joined the First Wives Club in 1996. This light feminist comedy about three middle-aged women betrayed is successful. At 57, Diane Keaton returned to star in Something's Gotta Give in 2003. As a single screenwriter experiencing unexpected love, she starred with Jack Nicholson. This role earned Keaton her fourth Oscar nomination and re-established her stardom. Her natural acting and image of an older lady who was seductive, confident, and brave enough to live honestly with her age appealed to audiences. Diane Keaton directed, produced, and wrote in addition to acting. In 1987, she directed Heaven, a philosophical documentary on religion. She directed music videos and TV shows about independent thinking and storytelling. Later, she published other books, including Then Again and Brother and Sister, about family, career, and aging. Diane Keaton's fashion was also notable. Turtlenecks, fitted jackets, wide-leg pants, and wide-brimmed hats were her signature for decades. Fashion journals credited Keaton with shattering gender barriers in clothes. Instead than following trends, she dressed to express herself. Keaton was a social activist and artist. Longtime animal protection advocate, she participated in the Big Cat Public Safety Act campaign to protect wildlife. She also donated to homeless shelters and Los Angeles architecture restoration programs. After her death, her family requested charity donations instead of flowers. Diane Keaton never married but adopted a son and daughter. She dated celebrities like Woody Allen, Warren Beatty, and Al Pacino, but kept business and romance apart. She said succinctly, "I never thought I needed it to be complete," when asked why she did not marry Keaton. This statement describes her life, autonomous, self-directed, and always working her own way. Her charm and attitude kept her in good form at 80. This film wound up being her last before she died 2 years later. After over 50 years of work, Diane Keaton left a cultural legacy of a free, clever, and caring lady. Cultural influence, not accolades, is Diane Keaton's legacy. Her parts in The Godfather, Red's Baby Boom, and Something's Gotta Give showed modern female from childhood seeking identity to maturity accepting truth. Keaton showed that wit and honesty stand out in a beauty-obsessed film industry. She had a personal style of turtlenecks, tailored jackets, wide-leg pants, and caps beyond movies. Her style was renowned without Hollywood glitz. Vogue labeled her a fashion unique, and Emma Stone, Rooney Mara, and Anne Hathaway were inspired by her. Keaton was a staunch supporter. She subsidized homeless housing in Los Angeles and animal conservation, specifically the Big Cat Public Safety Act. Her gift saved historic homes and helped elder centers. Her family wants people to support her causes instead of sending flowers. Hollywood showed unusual solidarity after her death. Godfather co-star and former companion Al Pacino called her a wonder and my adore. On Keaton's daring and originality, Nancy Meyers said she could make dialogue in events more natural and human. Bette Midler called her remarkable. Steve Martin, Jane Fonda, and Goldie Hawn admired her wit and empathy. Respect, not formality, was shown in these tributes. Richard Gere, who worked with her and was close friends, said her death reminded him of the importance of sincerity in art. He continued his work without drama to respect her memory. He saw Keaton as an old-school artist who focused on craft, not fame. Respectful media coverage focused on her art, not gossip. That restraint reflected Keaton's honesty, erudition, and grace. She was part of the disciplined Pacino-Gere-Keaton generation that influenced society before social media. Keaton showed that kindness and genuineness endure celebrity and that creativity is ageless. Strong and simple, she was unique and approachable. Annie Hall is remembered for her films and her inquiring, brave, and true spirit. She left over 60 films, 4 Oscar nominations, and a timeless image of a candid lady. Richard Gere said Diane Keaton lived and worked authentically, defining her art and life. If you admire artists like Diane Keaton, subscribe to articles about cinema luminaries and their legacy. Subscribe, enable notifications, and help us preserve Hollywood's legacy.